Hi, how are you doing, Murray?
Hey, yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm pretty good too. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Deja from Trick or Treat Music, a music media based in Mexico City. And I am way too excited to be here with you and to get to have a little chat about what's coming up. But first of all, I'd love to know a little more about you and the band. So, how did you come up with the idea of creating Easy Life as a band? How did it all begin?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. Easy Life started, I think like most bands, I imagine, kind of started just as a bit of fun. We were all pretty bored, and we just started making music together, and it was a bit of an elaborate joke, really, which has kind of got a bit out of hand. That I don't know, we never imagined that we'd be doing any of this, so I don't know, like there isn't really a very interesting story of how we came to be. We just kind of came together. I don't know, maybe like 4 years ago now, and yeah, and then all this happened. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride.
It's been crazy.
Yeah,
So, what were your first musical influences? Like those bands or artists that led you and inspired you to create the music you do now?
sure. I think God, there's so many. The thing is that I love about the way that music is consumed now on Spotify and other streaming platforms like that is that you can hop between different genres and different artists so easily. So inspiration is so readily available. So I think I'm honestly inspired by something new like every single day or every single time that I open up Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music or what have you. It's so easy to be inspired, and it's so easy to find new music and find new ideas and even new genres. Sometimes I hear something that I literally have never heard before, and that's amazing. I think it's just a blessing of the internet. I think we're very lucky to have all that at our fingertips. It can sometimes be really overwhelming, but I think the amount of inspiration out there is amazing. But I can't really name drop particular artists or producers that I'm inspired by because there's just so many. I like to think that inspiration is just never ending. Everything is pretty inspiring. I think it's even just being alive is pretty fucking mind boggling, isn't it? So it's easy to find inspiration.
Yeah. So, moving on to this upcoming album Name Life's a Bitch, which is your debut album, am I right?
Hmm.
And you already released like 5 songs out of 12. I
Hmm.
really want to know what can we expect from the remaining songs and what is the general feeling of the album?
Sure. So yeah, it's called Life's a Beach. It kind of deals with a hypothetical journey where I want to go to the seaside and then I come home, and it's basically just like a day out at the beach, and all the things that you might find or consider in that on that day out. But it's you probably wouldn't know that unless I spelled it out for you because it's not very obvious. But that's kind of the way that I wrote it and the way that I organized it. But I think what to expect from the last, I don't know. It's just I like to think that Easy Life kind of does whatever whatever it wants. To be honest, we just there's a few songs on there that are really weird, and there's a few songs that are just chilled kind of pop songs. Um, but I don't know. I find it hard to articulate exactly what it sounds like or does because I don't really know what it does or sounds like. I just kind of make it on a whim and people think it's good. I don't know.
Okay, so did you do everything during lockdown? Right,
Um,
the writing and recording and all that stuff?
sure. No, not everything, not everything. So the majority of it was written and recorded during lockdown, but there's some songs on there which are slightly older. There's a couple on there that are really old actually, and lockdown just gifted us with a lot of time, so we were able to finally produce them and record them properly. I had the song Compliments. I had that for ages, years and years. Just I had the chords and the melody, So that I sort of reworked that during lockdown, but loads of it was written in lockdown. I mean, loads of it. And it was, I was so glad that I had something to do. I was really lucky that I had a mission, you know, because when lockdown happened, I think everybody felt really disillusioned and lost and paranoid. I was able to sort of focus and be like, well, at least I'm going to try and record this album. So I was very lucky to have something to do, and it did focus me and kept me out of mischief. Um, and but yeah, some of the songs are slightly older, but I just kind of rejigged them.
Right. Will there be any collaborations?
So with the debut album, we had this conversation as well, and we decided no, we didn't want to dilute the Easy Life, um, source, if you like, because we wanted the first album just to be almost like a mission statement, like this is what Easy Life sounds like, and this is what we're about. I'm working on our next project now, which has got loads of collaborations, because I thought like we just wanted to put our flag in the ground and be like, this is just all of us. This is what we do, and we didn't really want to have any external artist or influences come and sort of fuck with what we were trying to do. So because that I've sort of held that off for so long, I've got working on loads of exciting collaborations now, which I wish I could tell you about, but I just can't. But I'm so excited.
It's okay. So,
Yeah.
speaking of working with other artists, what was it like working with Bacon, a Grammy-winning producer
Yeah.
who produced Kendrick Lamar's album Damn? So, how was
Yeah,
the
I mean that
experience?
was crazy. Damn is like, I mean Kendrick Lamar is probably my favorite artist ever. So Damn is one of his probably arguably one of his best records. So I was so excited, and we we've actually got some more stuff cooking as well. And it was amazing. It was a complete trip to work with him. He's ridiculous. He is insane. I don't know how much you know about him, but he is like a violinist and a pianist like no other that I've ever seen. He will literally just he can just shred. He is ridiculous. He would just sit there and play like a whole song that just came out of his head. And I'd be like, that's amazing. He's like, oh well, I've got another one, and he's ridiculous. He's honestly, yeah, he's a beast. He's a bad man. So it was lots of fun working with him. But yeah, I was very lucky to work with him, and hopefully I can. We've been like separated, because he lives in LA and I live over here, so we haven't been able to do a whole lot recently, but hopefully soon come.
Okay, so I'd also like to talk a bit about A Message to Myself, which is
Hmm.
quite a personal song, I feel. I really felt the lyrics, and I'm pretty sure most of us have been in that situation and felt that way too. But it all came together for me when I watched the video clip you did for that song.
Mm.
So I'm curious to know how the creative process was to create the video clip along with Andy Baker, who wrote it and also directed it, right?
Hmm.
Was it a team effort, or did you give him creative freedom?
Sure. I mean, well, thanks so much for asking about that, because that song had a really interesting upbringing. It is the only song that I've ever written the music and the video at the same time, because usually we have the music and then we think, okay, let's make a video. But I'd actually been wanting to work with Andy for years, and we're sort of friends. So I called him up one night just seeing how he was, and he'd left London and gone to Portugal on holiday on a whim. He was like, I just need to get out of London. I feel really claustrophobic and anxious, and I don't feel right. And we were just talking this out, and he said he felt like he had a goldfish bowl on his head. And I was like, oh my God, mate, that's amazing. You should make a character. And I was like, at the same time, I'd just been working with Bacon and had this Message to Myself song. I was like, we should make a video for this song, but it's not finished yet. But it could be great to have like me with a goldfish bowl on, and you just basically described the whole video to me, and we just sort of decided to do it. And it took 2 years because he can only make 5 seconds every week because he hand draws every single image. So it took years to make, and I'm so happy that it came out. But the creative process on that was honestly just it was very involved and very full on. I mean, we had to like believe and work on this same music video for 2 years straight. It was pretty intense, but it was so good, and I'm so glad it's out there. It's one of I think it's my proudest creation, and I love Andy. He's a really good friend of mine, so I'm so stoked we could make it.
Okay, so we are almost done. I have one more question for you. This one is already a tradition here on Trigger Treat. We really want to know what other artists are out there that need a lot more recognition. So, would you tell me, I don't know, like 3 artists or bands that you like and listen to that you consider they should be more recognized and that we must listen to?
Oh my god. Have you guys ever? So, oh man, there's this dude called Kojak from Ireland. Have you ever heard of him? It's
No.
spelled like Kojaque, and he's incredible. I think he has an album coming out soon, but he's amazing. I've been listening to him for like forever. He's so cool. I love him. So you should listen to that. Trying to think if there's anything interesting. Um, anything else? Oh my god, you really put me on the spot. Uh, Big Pig. Have you heard of this?
No, never.
Big Pig, which is Biig, and Pig Piig too. She's kind of crazy. She's super interesting. I think she deserves more recognition. Um, I'm trying to think of people that are small, you know, and oh man, you must have heard of Slow Tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you see, I remember seeing Slow Tie in in a 100 capacity venue, like in a tiny venue near where we're from. And I've always just thought that he deserves like to be fucking huge. Like he kind of is now though. That's the thing. But I got to shout out Slow Tie because I just fucking love him. It's Murray from Easy Life. Hope you're doing good in Mexico. Come listen to our new album, Life's a Beach, and hit us up on Instagram.